Hey, in the series of whys today, if you watch Moe finish in his golf swing, you see a much different finish than the average golfer. Today, we're going to talk about why. So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing. So you might not think that the finish is that important, but in my book and in a lot of the research I've done biomechanically, how you finish, the finish position, the end position of the golf swing, is a critical variable in how the body works mechanically through the golf ball. Now, when you watch Moe finish in a golf swing, you're going to see, and what's interesting is a lot of people talk about, well, can you finish in a traditional way with a single plane swing? But I want to say that you don't want to. And the reason is because there's a reason behind what you see happening in an ideal single plane finish and the way Moe did it. Now, here's what I have done a lot of work with, is understanding the biomechanics of the swing. Now, you've seen me in various videos throughout my channel talk about the stopping motion of a golf swing. And that's what I think is missing a lot in golf instruction, is the fact that people talk about movement, they talk about positions, they talk about where your hands are, same stuff I talk about, but they don't talk about what's really stopping in a golf swing so that the rest of the body can continue movement. So the stopping parts of a golf swing are just as critical as the moving parts of a golf swing, but you got to know what's going on and why it's occurring. So the thing that you see in Moe's finish, and let me just kind of demonstrate it for you so you can see it, and then let's talk about it. When you would see Moe hit a golf ball, you would see that he would release the club. Obviously, we talked about the knee flexion, the foot down. And then you would see him, he's in his posture and release. And then you would see him stand up and point the club to the target. Now, that's what looks so different, is that, he actually makes a relatively conventional finish, but then he does this at the end. Now, is that important? And the answer is there's a reason for it. And let me just show you what's happening. And then I want you to take a look at the top view of Moe's swing. And this is a really interesting view of his swing, is looking at the top view, because what you're going to see is that there's a very important motion of the lead shoulder. It's not stopping. In other words, it's not freezing its position. What it's doing is it's going into a range of motion limitation. See where my body is? And then the arms then release around it. This is why, and this is kind of a conversation that we need to have about learning the swing, is that you can't just take one piece of it. And I've been saying this for a long time. It's like, okay, I want to just take the way Moe gripped the club. You can't do that, because the tilt of the body, the arm position, the hand position, the body position, it all relates to ideal mechanics. And that's why we teach a model, by the way. So here's why you want to finish in the way that Moe did. And it's because of how the body is tilted, how the lead shoulder gets isolated. Now, watch this I'll go kind of in slow motion here and show you the actual motion of the swing. But so when I'm coming down, obviously I'm stabilizing into my knee. There's the first kind of stopping point. This is stabilizing. So now it doesn't mean the body's stopping, but I'm rotating around a stable lead knee. That's the first part of the stability. Now, watch what happens when I start coming down into impact. So here I am coming into impact. The hands are leading, and the hands are leading because my body is tilted and I'm rotated, and the hands get to lead. Here comes the club into impact. The club gets to impact, and then here's what's interesting about what happens afterwards. I'm in a position, because of my rotation of my body, the tilt of my body, that I've reached a limitation. And it's all because of tilt and that lead knee flexed. And now what happens is I strike the golf ball, and I'm able to it's like the arms and shoulders release the club without much body movement. And now look what happens from here. And I gotta say, if you can go into this position and watch my finish, I really can't go further than that. I can't go further than that because of the position of my body. So what happens is I've reached a limitation, and then I stand up. And that standing up part is what tends to look so weird to people, but you've reached your limitation. It's that limitation that is so important. Now, I gotta tell you a quote that Moe told me when I was practicing with him is, I asked him, I go, when do you hit your best shots? And he said, when I stay with it. Now, a lot of times Moe would say things like that to me, and I didn't really understand it. But to me, that's the interpretation of staying with it, is that If you, when you swing and you stay with it, stay in the shot, stay in your bend, stay in your tilt, then you're in your limitation. See how the tilt is keeping me limited to how much I can actually rotate. It's not that you don't want to rotate, it's just limiting it. So watch me hit, there's a 7-iron here, and I'm going to go ahead and swing one, and you're going to see as I go through that because I'm tilted and the knee is flexed, it creates that limitation, and I have to finish the way that I do. Yeah, and so what I feel there is when the club goes through, I mean, look, I can't go any further. And then what happens is the shoulder gets isolated, as you're going to see in the top view of Moe's swing. If you draw a line on the shoulder position, so if I draw a line from the top view of Moe at address, watch that lead shoulder. It stays in front of that line. It's still rotating, but it gets to a point where the arms and hands are moving without the shoulder moving. There's that limitation, and it's because of that side bend. That's why I think you can't look at Moe's finish as being a weird finish. There's a purpose behind it. It's that limitation, and it's all in biomechanics. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this content, we're going to do more of the series stuff. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, give me a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video.